Joined in studio now by Fionnuala Rabbitt, CEO of Highland Radio, of course, and congratulations to you, Fionnuala, the new president of Letterkenny Chambers. Great honour, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm thrilled, and particularly that they've taken a chance on a bit of a blow-in, as we say down in Galway, new to the, well, not here almost, it's hard to believe, almost 9 years now, but, new to Donegal and that. So I'm really delighted and honoured to be given the opportunity.
Should we talk a little bit about you? Because, I mean, obviously you're regularly on the programme in a different capacity, but this is, as you mentioned, from Galway, worked down in Galway Bay FM.
Yeah, well, I've had numerous jobs. I started working in Galway Bay FM, doing what Caroline does here, producing the current affairs programme and working it through. But my family's always been involved in radio right back from when the original independent station started. Because, as I always say, with my dad, it was a case of everybody hid under the covers at the weekend, because when the station started there wasn't a lot of money going around, so he used to just drag whichever one of his daughters he found was up on a Saturday morning to go in and do the phones at the weekend. So radio has always kind of been part of our existence in the Rabbitt family, and he was always a big proponent of it. So that, got into it then when I went back to college and did my degree. I was off work, so and studying full time. So then I started towards the end of my degree to work in the radio, and was supposed again, like this job, it was supposed to have been for 3 months.
And away it goes. That being said, though, tapping into a genuine love of radio and the media that you have, both as working within it and a consumer as well.
It is. Well, it's one of those things that you get into because it's so different and it's just such a unique environment to be working in, and it's so changeable all the time and things happen. But then when I came up here, coming to Highland even that was such a complete difference, because Galway being like kind of an half urban, half rural type station, it makes it much different, the approach that people have and the feelings that people have for the station. Coming up here to Highland and the love and respect that everybody has in this county and region for Highland Radio, it just made it a much more daunting affair for me, really, because you obviously don't want to be the one that damages or that upsets the people of the region, that to make them feel that it's,
but you want to
that Highland is
things,
yes,
but at the same time you don't want to be held back by the don't fix what's not broken, but you can't stand still at the same time.
Yes, you have to kind of be exactly. You have to sort of find that fine line in that, moving things forward, like we've done with digital and doing things, introducing new aspects to the business, but while also then kind of maintaining what makes Highland great, what makes people love it. And that's why the Chamber is such a brilliant place. Like for me, when I came up here, I was very daunting starting in a business that I didn't know a lot of people up here. I didn't know a lot of things. As I think it's kind of similar to if you're starting off as an entrepreneur with your own business. You're stepping into a new kind of arena. I came up here, I didn't really know many people. I didn't have friends or different things like that up here. I got into the Chamber, and it just really was an amazing thing for me personally, not just for Highland being involved in it and for what we get back and forth with, but just for myself personally. You meet just an amazing group of people. It's a great way to network.
And this is no slight or criticism, but I would imagine it's also nice for a chamber or an organisation or a business community that have someone new to come in as well, a fresh set of eyes. You know what I mean? So sometimes being new to an area, having sort of a new type of input or whatever, it can be an advantage as well.
Well, I wouldn't like to. They might all start ringing in to say no, but
okay, well, I
would like no. I would think so. I would think so myself, but I don't want all the board to be ringing in and thinking, oh God. But no, I do think so. I think it's good to have a lot of different people coming in and out of it, and that's what we're trying to do in the Chambers. Encourage people to join. Like there's 285 new members now in the Chamber. I think we've had over 30 new members in 2022. Hopefully we'll build it that way as well. We've got some fantastic staff there with Tony and Louise and Marie that started last year, and it just means that with this core staff now that we have, as well as the auxiliary staff that work there, we're able to go out more and to actually speak to the members more. It was difficult, and particularly with over the last few years, every business was kind of down to its core, so now we're really took the step last year to hire extra staff, and now we're really ready to get out there and to interact with the people. Yesterday I was at a great event out in Carragart, out in the G-Tech in Carragart, which is a fantastic facility that they have out there. We were down in Gweedore at the G-Tech there a while ago. So we're trying to spread out as well to
that's it, because
businesses outside of Letterkenny in some ways as well.
Chamber, but I mean, obviously, that new membership is and through the awards ceremony and everything else, it's not just about Letterkenny businesses. I was going to say any more. I'm not sure it ever was only just about Letterkenny businesses.
No, I don't think it ever was.
It's more actively now spreading its wings. Is that
well? I think it's because we've managed to get into different areas. Obviously, the core is the Letterkenny businesses, and that's where the foundation of it is, and that's where its roots are, and the importance is when we do the St. Patrick's Day parade, when we do things like the busking festival, even the Christmas lights. It's about generating a feeling in the town, getting people into the town, making them realise what the town has to offer in that. But when it comes to a larger remit that we do, which is like lobbying, a lot of the cross-border work that we do now that we have a significant relationship with the Dairyland Dairy Chamber of Commerce, that kind of work that we do, that benefits the whole region. It doesn't just benefit Letterkenny, and I think that's what we're trying to show.
Does well, the surrounding areas.
This is it exactly, and that's why we want to bring other businesses in as well to see either how can we help them by them becoming members with us, or how can we collaborate with them in projects that's only going to make the region better. And really, that's what it's all about. It's just making things as that businesses want to be here, that they want to set up here, and that they have the structures in place and the supports in place to make it to succeed. So that's
and you mentioned the chamber and its role during the pandemic. Often organisations, they're worthwhile all of the time, of course, but it's maybe slightly easier when things are going great. You have to sort of maximise that and what have you. But when things are tough, then that's when the network really comes into play, I would imagine.
I think so.
What I mean? Where people can support each other, share ideas, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why, even last night at the AGM, we were talking about why we had such a significant jump in membership last year. And I think part of it was the fantastic work that Tony and the team did during the pandemic. Obviously, Marie coming on board, focusing on new businesses, or new members is helpful too. But the work that was done during the pandemic, and that was not just for people that were in the chamber, but Tony and the chamber has never been that it keeps the information to itself. It comes on here, it goes out into the businesses, it spreads the word to people. They often call businesses that they think, because we find out stuff about funding that might be coming down. We find out stuff about support. There's a lot of information there. We know where to send you. If you're having difficulty, you can just ring the chamber and they'll say, well, look, we can't help you, but here's a number of somebody that can. There's those kind of connections that were really helpful for a lot of businesses over, that I think then they sort of said, oh God, this is what the chamber actually does. And I think that's the thing about the Chamber of Commerce, and it's not just here, it's all over. Sometimes people don't really have an understanding of exactly what it is, the work that it does, and that's why it's good. If you know somebody that's in the chamber, is ask them what it is that they do, particularly with the board. We do a lot of amazing work. There's an amazing team there in the board, and they do some fantastic work. Not just on the social side, which again, a lot of people don't realise that the chamber fundraises and pays for, the majority of the Christmas lights. The St. Patrick's Day parade is all the chamber. Busking festivals, chamber. Lots of different things. Halloween, that's all just chamber. And it's all volunteerism. On top of that, then we're lobbying government. We're lobbying.
Well, can I focus on that a little bit,
agencies?
because that was where I was going to go next. So if you are. I just think Letterkenny Chamber has a very important role in that area that people don't really realise, because if you are an agency, a national agency or government, and you're looking to make changes or to get a sense of what's on the ground, you're going to go to the likes of the Letterkenny Chamber, because it is a single group representing so many different parts of industry across a large area. And obviously come to the chamber looking for info, but then the chamber feeds back into it as well, or can lobby, as you've mentioned there. And it really is a very strong, powerful voice, one that could not be ignored given the scale of it. And as I say, how broad the representation is.
Yeah, we're the only chambers in Donegal that's affiliated with Chambers Ireland. So not only do we have the strength of the support from the people in the region that are members, but we also have then the backing for Chambers Ireland when we're putting things forward. And if, like last night, we were seeing some of the figures that are coming through, and Chambers Ireland actually does more lobbying and representation of businesses than IBEC, than IFA, than a lot of these organisations that you would assume would be way up there in the amount of work that they do in that area. So yes, it gives you that extra bit of strength. It also gives, because the chamber is so well run and it's so well respected as well, it kind of gives that gravitas that it gets more listened to. You know, it's very difficult for an individual voice to be heard sometimes above all of the clamour, but when you have, you know, a strong chamber, it can stand up and say, no, this is why we need this. You know, we were very fortunate last year that we got to have a sit down, which is, you know, very rare that it would happen, but we just sat down around a table. There was about 20 of us, and had a conversation with Micheál Martin, who was the then Taoiseach. Yeah. You know, those are the type of things that not everybody, and as an individual, would have difficulty doing, but we are able to do that because of the strength and the respect that the chamber has, you know, garnered over the years.
And all the more reason for businesses to join and to have feel that they are, you know, I mean, I know the chamber even it represents and acknowledges all businesses, whether they're members or not, but to be in there having your say, because it's not just about membership. The chamber in the past, and I'm sure you're going to continue that, it's about engagement as well, not just being a member of it, but engaging within the chamber.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it's about. Well, we do so many things within it. For our members, we host events in different sectors. We also host events that some of the members might like to get word of what their business is doing. So particularly some of the service industries that are involved in the chamber, they would have events talking to the members about what their business is in order to help with their own networking. We have just tea and coffee networking events and that kind of thing as well. So there's lots of different things that people can engage in. What I'd say to you is come to one of our events, have a chat and see. One, the cost of the chamber is not what people might think. It's based on your business. You know, joining is based on your business, the business size, staff. It's all very clearly laid out in the rate cards and stuff that we have. The membership is there for you to avail of all of the supports that we can give you, and also for you to be able to get your concerns and feelings forward and have us represent them in a strong way. And then there is a benefit to the networking and to just being out there and meeting other businesses and being able to kind of have a chat sometimes about, you know, the current state of the world or whatever is happening in the region. And, you know, I'm hoping we're going to have one soon so somebody can explain this new protocol thing to me. Tell me what bits I need to read and whatnot. But those are the type of things that we can do on a social scale and then on a more serious scale.
Exactly. And it's just even some things like applying for schemes, for government schemes as it relates to, you know, deductions to electricity or whatever. You know, you can seem overwhelmed and isolated by something like that.
Absolutely.
There, but you can speak to someone else in the chamber that's got experience, and that's just the casual benefits of
that's it, exactly. It's just having little chats, you know, particularly, you know, I think one of the good things that has come out of the last couple of years is we have an awful lot of people that have started up their own small businesses themselves. You know, they've gone out on their own and they're doing, you know, be it like media design or digital, and they're all different kind of things. You see it in these fantastic facilities like the G-Tech buildings across the county. And, you know, we're here, we can give those type of people fantastic support as they go out on their own, because it is nerve-wracking and it's hard to do everything by yourself. And if you have something that's giving you backing up, and then on the other turn, obviously the more members we have, the stronger the chamber is, the bigger a voice that it has when it goes forward on a national level in order to try and achieve things. And that's what it's about.
I mean, obviously it's continuing progress that's being made.
Yeah.
Outside of that, Fionnuala, it's a 1 or 2 year term? 1 year, isn't it?
1, yes.
Do you have anything that you particularly want to focus on over the course of the year, or is it maintaining the current momentum that's there? Obviously that's going to be to the forefront, but what else would you like to...
I suppose that's really what it is. It's about maintaining the current momentum. There's a lot of funding that's due, the Shared Island funding and different funding that's coming up. There's a couple of major road schemes we're talking about trying to get on board to see if we can do anything to help lobby about the A5 as well as our own the T10 and that kind of thing, the 10T, I'm always mixing that up. All that funding is due to come out, so we want to sort of work on that. But really what it is about is, for me, it's about elevating Donegal. Since I've come to Donegal, it's just been an amazing experience for me, and particularly personally, I've just enjoyed it so much. And Donegal is such a fantastic area. And I really think what we need to do is go out there even more and tell people, come there. I always say I think it's unbelievable to think that I grew up in Galway and I had never been to Donegal until we became involved in Highland Radio. And everybody should be tromping up here to see it.
For sure. And you're so right in that, you know, it's a balance you try and strike on a programme like this as much as possible. Of course, we have to fight our corner to make sure that we, you know, get what we deserve, that there's equal treatment. But we also have to ensure that we spend as much time, if not more, actually talking about the improvements, what the place has to offer. And we do an awful lot of that in conversations with the council and the chamber and others.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are also making advances. But there are key issues and we have to continue to amplify and highlight those. So
absolutely.
We also need to remember, as you've quite rightly pointed out yourself, and we try and do as much as we can on this show as well, how much the county has to offer in terms of improved infrastructure, in terms of an option for people to relocate here, in terms of making sure you turn right on the Wild Atlantic Way and not just left. That's it.
That's it, 100%. That people need to come around here, and I think one of the things that Donegal has, which is needs to be highlighted more, which I mean is done by many agencies, but that what I'd like to be doing as well is that, you know, the work-life balance that you can have here, you know, with all these areas now, and I said the likes of the GTEX and the different type of organisation, the hubs, you have the Alpha Beta buildings, different things like that are coming to Letterkenny and other areas. All of these things just make it so much easier for people to move here, to have their businesses here, and then to enjoy the fantastic work-life balance that you can have in a county as fantastic as Donegal. So really, I think what I want to do with it is like working in Highland. One of the things I always liked about Highland, the logos and stuff, which I would never touch, is how it talks about itself as being, we talk about ourselves as being the voice of Donegal.
I was going to say, you jacked it in already.
I know, I've jacked it. Oh God, now I'm way too big for you people. I'm way too big for you people now.
If I know you, your LinkedIn's already updated.
It may be. But I love the fact that Highland Radio is the voice of Donegal, and we strive, and that is kind of our mantra, as in, are we doing something that's of a benefit to? And that means talking about the good as well as the bad. And you have to highlight that. The chamber, that's another version of what they consider themselves, which is the voice of business in the region. And that's what you want to do. So really what you just want to do is go out.
The chamber without the businesses is not a chamber. Highland Radio without its listeners is not a radio station.
No, absolutely.
So, you know,
and it's all about making Donegal better. I think that's the one thing that both the chamber and Highland and so many businesses across the region are doing, is we all have a great appreciation for the place, you know, that we live. We're grateful and thankful to be here, and we just want to make it even better.
All right, listen, well, congratulations, Fionnuala, CEO of Highland Radio, and now the new president of Letterkenny Chamber, and a whole new group of individuals also appointed to various roles. All that information is available on our website. Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Take care. It's a wonderful honour, I think.
Oh, I'm thrilled and honoured.
Okay, Fionnuala Rabbitt, back with more after the break.